Today I thought I would use up some eggs that I've had for a while, and I know many of you have your own chickens, and sometimes you might be looking for something to do with those extra eggs, or just as a money-saving tip, when eggs are on sale in the springtime around Easter, you could buy up extra eggs and create this dish and put it into your freezer to eat later and save some money. And all I'm doing is making a simple quiche, and I don't have to deal with the crust. It kind of makes its own crust. You can make crustless quiches, but this does have a little bit of baking mix in it, and it's really simple, tastes very, very good, and it's easy to do. Now, I'm going to make mini quiches in muffin tins, but you can easily do this in a your own pie tins, or you could even do it in an 8-inch cake pan if you needed to. So to get started, what I have is some bacon that I've cooked crisp right here. I just bake that off in the oven. You can do it in a skillet, that's fine too, but I like to put it on a baking sheet in the oven and just let it do its own thing. And then you want to crumble that up. Then I've also sauteed off some onion. And for an 8-inch pie plate, you probably want about a half a cup of crumbled bacon, and you'll want anywhere from a half to 1 cup of sauteed onion. You could use shallot, you could use any type of onion you have. Here I have some scallions, and I'm also sauteing off some yellow onion that I'll mix with this also. And I'll probably use up all this bacon that I'm have done up, and I'll just switch over to ham next, and I'll chop it really fine, saute it off, and use that. So you can use different types of meat. Any type of ham or bacon is very good because you get a little bit of that smokiness with it. So, and this is really simple. You can do this in a blender. You can easily put this into a large bowl and whisk it up also. Today I'm using my blender because I can use that to pour. And when you're making mini quiches, you can do these in muffin cups if you want, and muffin tins, and today I'm using the mini muffin tins. But it's an easy thing to do for a party. I do these up ahead of time, and then I place them into the freezer between layers of parchment paper, and then all I have to do is turn the oven on its lowest setting and warm those up, and they're ready to go. Really simple, really easy. One of the tips I have about the onion, I often have my onion chopped up ahead of time, and I put them into either quart or half-gallon canning jars. You can put them in any container, but I like to use these as refrigerator jars a lot. And I just chop a lot up at one time. You can do this in a food processor or however you like. I did this by hand. And then if I have extra onion where I might not need it chopped, I'll go ahead and just place the excess onion in there. And I'll use this for about a week. I'll look at the recipes that I'm going to make, or in my head I know what I'm going to cook that week, and I chop up the amount of onion I think I'm going to need. So it's all done ahead for the week, and it saves me time in the end. Okay, I'm making a double batch here. So I'm going to give you ingredients for an 8 and 9-inch pie tin. I have my milk already in my blender, and for an 8-inch pie tin you would use 1.5 cups of milk, and I'm using organic skim milk. And if you were doing a 9-inch tin, you might want to use 2 cups of milk. And to that I'm going to add my eggs. For an 8-inch pie, 3 eggs. For a 9-inch pie, 4 eggs. And everything else is approximations as to about how much you want to use, however you like it. That's what makes this so simple and easy. The one other ingredient I do measure is the baking mix. You can use your homemade baking mix, works great. You can use a store-bought baking mix. And for a single pie, you'll want a half a cup of that baking mix that you'll add to this. So I still have some onions sauteing off. I'm going to have to stir those. Okay, that's looking good. So let's get started with the blending. I hope I haven't gotten too much in here. It's going to be close. Oh, I think I'm going to make a big mess. Usually when I do a double batch, I do it for a double 8-inch. This one's for a double 9, so let's see what happens here. And then I want about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt for a single batch. Oh, this is going to go over. Okay, now with my overzealousness, I'm going to mix this up in this mixing bowl. If you put it in the blender, you just need to whiz it for about a minute to get everything mixed up really good. So I'll get this mixed up. It'll take me a few minutes, and I'll be back. Okay, you can see here I have all my goodies in my muffin tin. I started off and I placed a little bit of the sauteed onion in the bottom, and I also sauteed off some of the green tops and added that with my onion because that gives me some color. So it's just a matter of placing however much you want in each little tin. And then just a little bit of bacon. And then you go through and add, I'm adding in these about a 1/2 teaspoon of cheese, and a large quiche you'd probably use anywhere from, it's really up to you what you want, but you could use 4 ounces of shredded cheese or less. This is a cheddar cheese. Any type of cheddar cheese is really good, and also Swiss cheese is very good. And then I'm going to fill these. I'm going to fill these up almost to the top. They're going to puff a little as they bake. And I did go ahead and get out my stick blender, but it can be done by hand too to mix your egg mixture. And that's basically it. Now we're going to bake it off. I like to add my pepper once my quiche is in my pan. Otherwise, your pepper winds up being in the very bottom of your mix, and it winds up in the last few little mini quiches you make. This way I can distribute it more evenly. So I'll pop this in the oven at about 325, and I'll cook it for approximately 10 minutes. Every oven's different. You just have to cook it until it's this will puff up, and as long as it isn't runny in the middle, you're good. It can be a little bit moist but not runny, because it'll continue to cook, and we don't want these to be too dry. So you will have some residual heat that will continue cooking. Okay, my mini quiches are out of the oven, and I'm just taking this table knife and running it around the edge. I'm not going all the way to the bottom yet. I like to run it around the very top edge, and then if I need to, I'll work my way down. And I did not grease my pan in any way. You really don't need to. You let the quiche sit for a few minutes, kind of like when you let a cake cool before you turn it out. It's a little bit easier with the non-stick pans. And I realized after I made my mix, I used 7 eggs instead of 8. If I'd used 8, it wouldn't have puffed up so much. So my milk to egg ratio was a little off on these. I had forgotten to put that other egg in, but these will still be fine. So they puffed up really pretty, and then once I took them out, they began to sink. Every nonstick pan's a little bit different. This one I have to work with the knife a little bit. My large one here, the nonstick coating on this one, all I had to do was wait a few minutes and then, you know, turn it over and dump it out, and they all came out pretty easily. So let's see if this is ready to come out. Nope, not yet. So now I'm just going to go in a little bit deeper. Yep, this will come out now. It also has to cool enough before it'll come out also. Well, that one got stuck. I hadn't planned on trying to get that one out yet.